Texas is building its own border wall. And this is good news. I got to give kudos to Governor Abbott. Texas has officially started construction on a border wall. Now, let's remember, this is the border wall that the Biden administration has refused to carry through on. The government, by the way, paid for all kinds of construction materials. They're just sitting there. And the Biden people have not only said that we're not going to use them, even though we paid for them, but we're not going to let Texas use them. So think of how malicious these people are. Even though the funds have been expended, they're trying to block the idea of Texas moving forward. But Texas is saying, listen, we're going to build a wall. We're going to fill gaps in the wall that are there now. And we're going to do it starting now. Bill Milligan, the reporter from Fox News, who's been Fox News LA, I believe, he's really been on this issue. And he points out in reporting on this that Texas is going to be using, they're not going to use federal funding, they're going to use Texas funding. So we, the Texas taxpayers, are going to pay for this. And apparently Governor Abbott is using the exact same contractor that the federal government had contracted with to build these walls. The wall panels are going up, starting in Starr County in the Rio Grande Valley. And this is what Abbott calls Operation Lone Star. And now there's a whole group of Texas left-wing groups, the Texas ACLU, the Civil Rights Project, the so-called Texas Defense Project. All these people are screaming about it. Here's Liz Castillo of the Detention Watch Network. The true intent of this program is to punish migrants, expand Texas's massive correctional system, and deter future migration. Now, the third part of that is 100% right. Abbott, by the way, has been farsighted about this. He got a almost $2 billion, $1.88 billion spending bill through to supplement another $1 billion that the state had already approved earlier in the spring. So this is $1 billion project. It's not cheap. But Abbott says that it's a lot cheaper than it would have cost the federal government. You know why? Because Texas doesn't have to buy the land. Texas already owns the land. So this is state land. And he says, look, we are not going to have to devote money to acquire the land. The state of Texas owns the land on the border. And he says, second, and this is really cool, there are property owners of massive acreage on the border who are so fed up with Biden's open border policies, they are donating the land to Texas for the wall to be built. They're saying, listen, we'll give you some of our own land and you can build the wall. And now, interesting update from the Biden people. And I don't know if this is partly because of the poll numbers or if it's partly because of court decisions, probably a little bit of both. But in addition to installing now President Trump's Remain in Mexico policy, the DHS, the Department of Homeland Security, has said they are actually now going to patch up unfinished parts of the wall in Arizona and California. Very interesting. So they're not going to build any new wall. They're not going to build any additional sections of the barrier. So it should be clear that the Biden people, it's not like they've said, okay, we're going to build a wall, but they concede that there are all kinds of problems where there are holes in the wall. And so they're going to close gaps, add missing gates. They're going to put up some guardrails. They're going to repair some foundations and also repair some power supplies that have been broken. So the left is saying, well, wait a minute, are you turning out to be sort of Trump redux? Is Biden selling us out on immigration? No, because the Biden administration is still fighting this issue in the courts. They're flagrantly violating immigration law. They're refusing to really enforce the immigration laws. And these are very small and partial steps that they're taking. As I say, in response, I think in part to court decisions, you must do this. And second, in response to plummeting poll ratings, which are telling them, hey, you better do this or else.